Hi, my name is Lucas Walters and this is my weekly reading student video presentation. This presentation will be centered around the text titled Leadership for Innovation, which is a summary report based on an AIM Management Research Forum that was conducted in cooperation with the Chartered Management Institute. As such, this paper was produced in conjunction with a large number of contributors, as can be seen on this slide. First, to start with a bit of background for the motivation behind this publication and the preceding forum that it was based on. At the time of publication, there was a growing consensus that the UK was lagging major competitors such as France, Germany, and the US. Previous research by the Economic and Social Sciences Research Council had concluded that this productivity gap was largely due to the UK's traditional notions of competing based on a low-cost mentality. It was concluded that to close this productivity gap, that the UK needed to shift the underlying mechanism of competitiveness from one of cost reduction to a focus on improving skills, innovation, and fostering enterprise. In short, it was recommended that to remain competitive, there needed to be more focus on value and innovation. While this was relatively transformative research at the time, this also posed more questions than it provided answers, such as, what does leadership in the context of innovation mean? Is there such a thing as inspirational leadership for innovation? How does leadership affect organizational context? What sort of organizational contexts are necessary to generate innovation? Questions that this paper has sought to address. In an effort to address these questions, the paper draws on research from many different sources relating to both innovation and leadership in an effort to propose a strategy that combines the two. While it is broken up into a greater number of subsections, the content can be summarized into 4 sections, including leadership research, innovation research, innovation enablers, and the final section, linking leadership and innovation together. As the background theory of innovation and innovation enablers have been covered in great depth throughout this course, I will not revisit these topics in an effort to provide a more in-depth summary of concepts involving leadership and leadership in an innovation context. On leadership research, the authors express a need to look beyond the traditional notion of leadership, often viewed as a purely social process, where a leader seeks to motivate and influence followers. It is proposed that while important, this view fails to consider the equally important role leaders have to play in influencing the organizational context, such as planning, organizing, and controlling, often associated with management. The paper seeks to define the two complementary aspects of leadership as motivational and structuralist, and stresses the importance of incorporating both. Briefly delving into the types of motivational leadership styles, it is proposed there are 2 main types, transformational and transactional, which have been described as complements, although many may see these as polar opposites. Put simply, transformational leaders probably conform to the traditional notions of a leader, someone who is effective at rallying people together around a common purpose, motivate and inspire, encourage innovation and creativity, coach and mentor while avoiding close supervision. On the other hand, transactional leaders follow a more structured approach, where they require followers to conform to pre-specified behaviors and goals, providing rewards when these targets are met. Another key leadership concept covered in this paper is the concept of structuralist leadership, where the leader is referred to as an organizational architect. This theory of leadership focuses on the leader's function undertaking administrative coordination tasks, the integration of activities, and coordination of resources. When considering the impacts on subordinates, structuralist leaders empower them by having the systems in place to enable them to deal productively with the issues they face. When linking leadership and innovation, the authors first seek to classify the innovation process as 2 distinct sub-processes. The first stage, exploration, involves the early stages of the innovation process, such as product definition, design, prototyping, and pre-testing, which involves a wide-ranging search for the best elements that often involves the re-evaluation of key design ideas. The second stage, exploitation, concerns the process of efficiently capturing value from the innovation, searching for optimal solutions with a fixed set of parameters. It is stated that the leadership challenge is to therefore recognize the different leadership skills conducive to different stages of the innovation process. Specifically, during the exploration stage of the innovation process, transformational skills are more desirable. Conversely, transactional leadership skills aid in commercialization, which becomes more important in the later stages of innovation. Further to this, it is also noted that the novelty of innovation also plays a part in the selection of the leadership approach. Similarly, where innovations are discontinuous and there is a high level of change and uncertainty, it has been proposed a transformational leadership approach is more desirable, whereas incremental innovation can be better aided with a transactional leadership approach. Finally, structuralist leadership can be seen as an overarching leadership skill used to support and enable the innovation process and is an important aspect throughout the entire process. Further to this, effective structuralist leadership is needed to create a truly ambidextrous organization, maintaining and connecting the two different leadership styles to effectively lead throughout the entire innovation process. Now for the discussion questions. Can you think of any other leadership styles that don't conform to the ones mentioned? How important is leadership for innovation? Can you think of any examples where products or projects have succeeded despite poor leadership?